Oh, yeah. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. What's happening, everybody? Pastor Dixon here. Let me see what I can do about possibly tagging some friends. Let's take a minute and figure out how this thing here work. I'm right here. Please let folks know that we're going live. I got some things to talk about. Might be of interest. Hopefully some things that we'll all be able to take away and will enrich our quality of life as we begin a new week, in a new year, in a new decade. Isn't that amazing? Wow. That's real amazing for me as the old guy, and that's for sure. Okay, let's see. Got a few more I'm going to tag right quick. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Yep. There you go. Okay. All right. All right. What's going on, my people? All of my good friends, good family. Because we talk about friends, but the reality is, I think that we've kind of lost sight of what friends are about. I think we need to bring it back to family. Because anyway it goes, we all made from one blood. Bible tell you that. For those who read the Bible and really know it, we all made from one blood. And no matter which way it goes, we're all connected somewhere. We cousins any kind of way you look at it. So when I say happy birthday, cuz, it could be to anybody. Y'all look out for it. I hope I got a good connection. Somebody give me a thumbs up if I got good audio, good video. I know this thing was going in and out. And I have to apologize this evening because two things. First off, I'm really under the weather. So if you hear me sniffling a little bit, okay, there's a good reason for it. I was out there on that road a little bit and yesterday, and I think I just picked up on a little virus or something like that. So I ain't been doing too good today. But by God's grace, there I go, for another way. And then, as you all see, I'm kind of dressed down too, got the t-shirt on, Yeah, that's right. Black Power, Resistance, and all of this here. Okay. Which I just want everybody to understand that just because we say Black Power, that doesn't negate anybody else's power. Okay. At all. Just like when we talk about Black Lives Matters, that's not a racial thing. It's a truth. It's a reality because until Black Lives Matter, all lives don't matter. Okay, so I'm just putting it out there. I see some good folks out here, good folks getting on tonight. And as far as wearing, as you see, I got my Raise Up hat on, Raise Up for 15. That's for sure. This is about Fight for 15 too. An area where we look at, as of January 1st, 32 cities across our nation increase their wages. Now, all didn't go to 15. I think that quite a few did, but all didn't go to 15. But that's problematic because no matter which way we look at it, the cost of living is going up this year. Again, just like it goes up every year. And the price of wages hasn't gone up in God knows when. It's been well over a decade since we saw any kind of increase in wages. So it's got to be a change in this whole system. And we have to fight for, just as it's fight for 15, we have got to fight for better wages. That's all part of where we're going on. Man, it's so good to see so many people on here. Wow. You all just jumping on a Sunday night. Thank you all so much. Wow. Let me back up and look right quick. Of course, my brother Elvin in the house. That was a really great live that you, Shakim, and Charleston County School Board member Cindy Coates did earlier today. Thank you all for putting out the information. Most definitely appreciate it. My brother Nate Levine. Good to see you, brother. Also, that's right. SC Hip Hop 100 in the house for sure. Shakim Amin Hotep, my brother. I'm in Aket. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Sam Bellamy. Sid, what's going on? Sid, I'll be back at you tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow morning. Finally got that last piece of information that I was waiting on. And everybody else, so many. Denise from Chicago in the house. Ida B. Wells in the house. Low country, low end for life. Believe that. Quentin Close-ups, Greta. Yeah. Listen, this young lady on here, Greta Anderson's on the line right now. Man, she's been mounting her and the group's been mounting a counter protest against the Confederate flaggers down on the Battery for almost 3 years now. They true to the game. They faithful to it, okay? When it comes to social justice activism, they out here. They out here every weekend, every Sunday morning on the Battery. They ain't playing. And I'm encouraging anybody on this live, you got some time on a Sunday morning, you ain't one of them church folks out there, you ain't going to church. So go on down to the Battery and make a stand. It's not a humbug, it's just a stand. They stand on their side of the street by the little Confederate statue over there with their flags. And Greta and the Tuesday group, they stand on the other side of the street with their flags that, represent all different types of things. Black Lives Matters, the LGBTQ movement, all different kinds of different flags, a counter protest. Not confrontational, but a protest, okay? So if you got some time, go visit down there. Robin, all the way out of Augusta, good to see you. So many folks on. So many folks, wow. Yeah. Clara, hit me off on the inbox. Hit me in my inbox. Okay? And yeah, we can definitely meet and talk. That's for sure. That go for anybody. I'm not that one. I don't hide from folk. I'm not one of them elected officials or nothing like that. And if I was, I still wouldn't hide from nobody. Door is always open. That's for sure. Shalom, sister. That's for sure. Real talk with Rijon on board. Yeah, Kevin Holland said. Charleston County School Board member. Definitely one of the premier performers, in my opinion, on the school board, whose mind is always on the community and on the people of the community. Of course, there are those who have differences of opinion. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. It's all right. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight is the fact that, we can have differing opinions, and we will, because we're all different. But just because we have different opinions, one, it doesn't make us enemies, and two, doesn't mean that we can't get along. Or if I don't agree with you, then that means that we're fighting or something like that. No, we have to change that around, especially as we look at our youth out here, who we are constantly talking about the way that they fight and all of that. When the reality is, if we're not setting the example as adults, that we have got to be more understanding of our differences with one another, and that just because I accidentally stepped on your toe doesn't mean that it's time to fight. We have to set that example for our younger group, and not say that every time that that we have a disagreement. If I don't disagree with you, it's all right. It's all right. Or if you don't disagree with me, don't agree with me, it's all right. It's all right. We have to teach ourselves this skill in this 21st century that we in, where everybody is so darn negatively reactive. That's why we have the gun violence that we have right now, coupled with the fact that as long as you got a gun, you can have gun violence. But if you ain't got no gun, you can't have gun violence. All you got is violence. And I'd rather definitely any day go knuckle to knuckle than steel to steel. Any day. Okay? Good to see so many people jumping on. I want to start by out to my good friends out in Walterboro who I visited yesterday morning. For those of you in the Colleton County, Walterboro area, we're beginning to organize. We're beginning to come together. We're beginning to set a core group together of those who are going to make a stand against the school board to make sure that the voice of the people is heard in the law enforcement area with the Charleston County Sheriff's Department and the interim sheriff. We've met with him already. That the voice of the people is going to be heard in the selection of those who are going to run for office this year. It's time for some changes in Colleton County, and it's time for people in the rural areas of Colleton County to quit thinking that your voice is not important. Your voice matters, and your vote matters. And so, as Pastor Dixon and the coalition, We've already met with a few people. My brother John Henry, that's a hotep, my brother. Peace and blessings. We've already met in Walterboro a couple of times to talk about how we're going to move forward organizing the people. It's time for folks in Walterboro to get involved. So there'll be information going out. If you're from Walterboro, Colleton County, you want to get involved, hit me up on my inbox, okay? Y'all know how to reach me. And my phone number is actually on all of my social media pages. So you can't say you can't reach Pastor Dixon, that's for sure. And the organizing is coming. And along with the organizing, we got some methods coming on in order to decrease people's finances and wealth in that area with some work. Not anybody that wants some free money. If you want free money and it's the wrong person I don't do that. Yeah. I believe that a worker is worthy of his pay. Okay, so you work, you get paid, and you get paid decently. Because of course I'm part of Raise Up, Fight for 15. And I'd be a hypocrite if I gave somebody $10 an hour and I'm steadily talking about Fight for 15. That's for sure. So we're going to have some mechanisms in place, not only in Colleton County, but in Charleston County, Berkeley, and Dorchester County, too. Coming real soon. Okay, so be on the lookout. All of y'all that, you're a little short on funds or whatever, it's going to be some opportunities to make some funds, okay, coming up in 2020. Some of the advanced hiring has already started, but I'll be giving more information about that soon. But I want you to know, I'm giving a shout out right now to Mike Mosley, SC Toys Click, and everybody from there. I'm giving a shout out to Tez Bard. That, y'all reach out to some more folks there. We need to get some folks on board in Walterboro so we can get this ball rolling and get the rights, equal access to prosperity, equal voice in Colleton County and Walterboro County. And we need to get that darn statue, the obelisk, that statue in front of the darn courthouse from the Daughters of the Confederacy pulled down. But then again, we got to elect the right officials in order to make that happen. If we don't elect people in that state house to overturn the Heritage Act of 2000, then we'll never be able to move that statue off from the front of there. And every time that we go up in the courthouse in Walterboro and many other places, we are reminded that slavery still exists in America. We don't need that reminder. We got that thing built in already. Let a blue light pull up behind you and you're a person of color. You're reminded right off the rip that slavery is still a reality in America. So, been running off a little bit. Let me get on down to business. So this evening, I really, first off, thank you all for getting on. So many great people, and I really love doing these lives because it seems like I get a better one-on-one connection with so many good people, Man, y'all are just amazing, and y'all, I say what I say, but y'all are the wind beneath my wings, It's the fact that I know I'm not in this fight by myself. I know that I'm not just out here trying to put this grind in, boots on the ground by myself. I know that there's a whole bunch of people out here who are all standing up for truth, justice, and the American way. Janine, let me take a side venture. Janine, I'm so sorry about your mom. We'll keep you in prayer. And, if you need me for whatever, I'm right here. Holla at your boy, okay? Much love to you, okay? And to your son, to Lyle, for sure. So, I wanted to talk this evening about building relationships with a foundation that's based on trust. And that trust has to be based on something. You see, blind trust doesn't really work. I just trust you automatically. I think you the best thing since sliced bread, so I'm going to go along with everything you say, just because you say it. That don't work. I've been I'll try to be there tomorrow, Janine. I was in the game for a long time. I'm a 30-year man in the game, straight up. And that was one of the last things we did in the game was like trust folks automatically. That's for sure. That never happened. That never happened. Even folks we knew, after a while, you knew you could not trust them. That's for sure. So trust is a strange animal because it has to be developed. It has to start at a point and then be built upon like brick on brick on brick. So when you meet a person and you know a person, regardless of what they say in that meeting, that's not going to be an automatic reason to trust a person. Now, I'm saying this, and let me give you the history on why I'm saying this, okay? And it has to do with the school board and all the controversy that's going on right now. And let me just say this right off the rip, okay? I loved what my brothers Elvin and Shakim did tonight with Cindy Bond Coates. I loved that, getting out that information. Of course, and I asked Elvin the same thing, and I know it wasn't really a question. I just made the statement, why wasn't that kind of conversation available before they had the vote? So that's just my skepticism. That's just the type of person I am, But since it wasn't, now after the fact, this is something that has never happened with one of the board members or the board before, other than what Kevin Holland shared. You know, for those who might be wondering about my position, because there's a lot of innuendos and assertions going around about money in folks' hands in exchange or whatever. I personally don't believe that either of those brothers are at that place for sure. If they are, the truth will come out. That's it. Just like with me, folks were told, during the election that I was taking money or whatever. Well, I wish I could see that money. That's for sure. For sure. I know my wife would love to see it. That's for sure. But the reality is, yes, trust is earned, not given, Anthony. That's for sure. You can't just blindly do that. And when it comes to the school board and the school system that we see right now, my reasons why I just can't go get behind what they're saying right now, no matter what is on paper, is because there has not been the building and the establishment of trust over the years. And I'm talking about over quite a few, nearly a decade of mistrust that's been sown in, developed, and the seeds of mistrust have been planted in because of backroom deals and things that were said that never came to pass, and all these different, and the voice of the people being spoken and then disregarded by the board, and all of these different things. And I just have a hard time right now latching into the fact that anybody would expect me to trust Cindy Coates or anybody else right now. Kate Darby, Eric Mack, Todd Garrett. I ain't just trying to jump out there and trust them folk like that. I'm sorry. And there's a historical precedent for it. Can you understand? When we look back at what happened on January 1st in 1863 with the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. That was supposedly setting the slaves free. But for 2.5 years, there were slaves in Texas that never got the message. So the promise was there, but they never received the benefit of the promise for 2.5 years because it was denied from them. The word was put out. It was in black and white, but they never received it. We can fast forward a little bit. Fast forward to the 40 acres and a mule. Okay. Emancipation Proclamation was Juneteenth. Okay. Got to the slaves and those in Texas June 19th, 1865. And right around that same year, just before that, January of 1865, General William Tecumseh Sherman, he actually wrote out about the 40 acres and a mule, promising 40 acres and a mule to freed people, which meant freed slaves. Now, I got to ask you, I never did get my mule, and I sure ain't got 40 acres. I ain't get 1 acre and an old Buick. I ain't get jack, and my people didn't get nothing. But these were promises that were made and put in writing, you see? And that people for years, decades, and even now, this far along, over centuries, believed that those promises were going to happen. When we look at the aspect of education, the Equal Educational Opportunities Act, 1974, it promised No discriminatory actions within schools, no segregation or anything like that. That was the promise in black and white. And I ask you today, inside the school system right now, is there discrimination? Is there segregation? And is there equal educational opportunity for all children? The answer is unequivocally no. It's not. So in light of the history of me as a black man in America, who has been let down by the promises of others time and time again. Don't let me get into the election process where all these people, I don't care what color they are, they come popping up in your area every time it's time to vote. And they're really con men because they tell you, we're going to do this for you and we're going to do that for you. And then you go vote for them and then they do nothing for you. And it doesn't matter which party it is. That's for sure. But we have a history of being bamboozled, hoodwinked, run amok, led astray, the whole nine by the system. So when I hear about the things, and it all sounds great, Elvin, Shakim, man, I know y'all said it. Y'all gonna hold them to it too, because y'all know y'all gonna be held to it too. That's for sure. And so if it doesn't come to pass, I know I'm going to get that call. We need to ride out. And I'm going to be right there ready to ride out. That's for sure. Because somebody done lied. But I just cannot, because of the time that we've spent up inside of the Charleston County School District over the years, pushing for things that would actually help our community and being ignored by that board, even to the point of at one point they tried to restrict public comments down to 30 seconds. That was a clear indication that they didn't want to hear what we had to say at all. And we've said significant things and offered significant solutions over the years. And all they've done is look at us, hit the buzzer, say, go sit down. And then they go back and do everything that they want to do. Now, I get it that it's on paper, but I just pointed out several other things that historically that have been on paper. You know, paper's one thing. Execution of that paper, that's an entirely different thing. Okay, so we'll be watching. We'll be watching. The community will be watching. And I know, and I'm so happy to believe in my heart, Shakim, Elvin, that you all will be watching also. And when that time comes, if that time comes, that the culmination of the promises doesn't happen, you know, all power to the people. Pastor Dixon will be right there with you, already organized and mobilized with the coalition, ready to stand up and fight on behalf of our children, as we've always done, you know. So, you know, and I get it. Ain't no love lost. Ain't no love lost. But the conversations that could be had, we need to make sure that, you know, as I started out talking about, differences of opinions do not make us enemies, okay? And we as a people, I'm going to start out just by talking about black people, but it's by extension all people. We need to know, to learn, to teach ourselves the art of dialogue, how we talk to each other, how we talk with each other, how we relate to one another. Understanding that we're all in this mess together. My niece online, Akila, what's going on, Gaga? We're all in this together. And it's going to take all of us who believe in truth and justice and righteousness, because it's enough folks out here that don't believe in that. It's a whole bunch of folks out here that don't believe in that. Can't trust them. But it's going to take all of us in order to make sure that the goodwill of the people happens. That our children and their children are secured in their future, not up under a system that has subverted them and made them false promises that we didn't hold anybody to. And that's why I'm so proud to stand with you, brothers. I know that, Elvin. I know it. You know, I also know there are those who have in the past done what we call selling out, you know, for a piece of cornbread. For sure. Just to be able to work in the big house. For sure. It's been historically within our community that way. But I'm just praying now we just have a new crop of activists who ain't about to sell out, who are all down with the cause to make this a better place for our children and for their children. And when I say our children and their children, I mean white children and black children and red children and yellow children and brown children. All of them. Because they need to learn now. We need to be educating them now on the necessity of working together. Not the necessity of fighting with each other. Not training them up with divisions and saying, you're so different. But also, in that training, we have to make sure that the system that they're growing up into does not create those divisions either. They're not separated by education just because of color. They're not separated by economics just because of color. They're not separated by where they live or their zip code because of color and poorness. No, it's on us. It's our job to fight right now to ensure that the walls of separation are torn down and bridges between all children are built together forever. That's our job. We owe that to them. Why do we owe that to them? Because we brought them into this world. We have a responsibility and obligation. To any of the brothers or sisters that's behind that wall, understand that your responsibility don't stop when you get locked up. As a matter of fact, that's where the place of recognition comes from. That's where your realization should come from. Right at that point, making that decision: when I get out, by any means necessary, I'm going to take care of my responsibility to family and community. And this Pastor Dixon, and if you're at that point, I will do everything that I can to help you. Everything. It's too bad that I didn't win that election, because there'll be much opportunity available. But that's all right. There's a whole nother opportunity available too, still, to make these things happen. And together, we're going to make that happen. So just for me, we never, with the school board and the people on the school board, except for a few people, never had that relationship, a trust relationship. So I just can't blindly stop and take Cindy's word for what she's saying. Okay. And I know you aren't either. I know that there's a part 2 to that says, okay, if you don't, then there's consequences and repercussions. That's for sure. And I appreciate that. But that goes for all of us in our relationships inside of our home, in our relationship with our children, as parents, as adults around children. If we're not fostering trust and showing examples where those around us can trust us, then what we're going to get out of it is confusion. That's all that's going to come out of it. That's why when, in the election, when all the lies was coming out about me, that's why people stepped up and said, man, shoot, y'all crazy. That's Pastor Dixon. We know he ain't about that life. We know what he do. Why? Because over the years, I have been able to show you that you can trust me. Just that simple. Just that simple. Y'all know I ain't going to steal from you. I ain't going to lie to you. I ain't going to cheat you. Y'all know I ain't no womanizer. Y'all know I ain't about that life. Y'all know I'm a family man who loves my family, my household, and my community, and my God before all. Okay? So it's time now for us to understand that this whole thing of trust, okay, inside of our house, we can change the dynamic in our houses, in our communities, and everything just by showing others that we can be trusted. Just that simple. And what a better time than right now. 5 days into the new year. 5 days into the new decade. 5 days into the rest of your life, or the rest of my life. Right now. Why not? Shouldn't have no beef just because somebody's not a part of my religious denomination. No. Or if somebody's got a problem with me because I'm Pastor Dixon and they don't agree with that, that just shouldn't be a problem. It's about what I do, not the title I carry. There's a whole lot of people got titles out here that don't do jack related to the title that they carry. I'm not going to start naming names or nothing like that. But as a shepherd of the flock, I'm Pastor Dixon, and anybody will attest to the fact that I shepherd the flock. Yes, I do. And I'm trusted because of that. Trust can change the whole dynamic of where we're at. I would love to be able to trust the school board right now. I would love to be able to trust North Charleston's police department right now as much as I trust the city of Charleston's police department right now. Yeah, I put it out there. Why do I trust the city of Charleston's police department more than I do North Charleston? Because the city of Charleston, first off, it agreed to a racial bias audit by an independent source that was selected in a non-biased way. Not only did they select it and have the audit, the results of the audit, they've acted upon those to make changes within their department. Racial bias. That means that they're trying everything they can to fix the problems that were pointed out by the racial bias audit team. They're trying to fix them. But in North Charleston, all you get is excuses. We don't need that. We're doing this and we're doing that. We're doing this and we're doing that. Well, that tells me that I can't really trust what you're saying then, straight up. I can trust those that open up the books and say, look here, take a look at them. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Tell me what I need to correct. But in North Charleston, they're not doing that. And let's just make this perfectly clear. And I always put this caveat out there. I'm not speaking about Chief Burgess. I really do wish that he had more time and under the right leadership. But you see, there's nothing that works in North Charleston without the okay from the top guy. Okay, let that be known. Nothing happens without the approval of the top guy. That's why we had an audit actually done. Department of Justice done. Paid for by the good citizens of North Charleston that we never saw. Because the call went into Jeff Sessions saying, we don't need that to come back. No, do something, but we don't need that to come back. That's for sure. So, thank you, Vanessa. And I consider that everybody is a part of the flock. And it's an honor to be a pastor over just the great people, that are here. It's an honor and a privilege. So, this trust thing, it goes into another level. And please, if I have any members of the Republican Party online here, please don't get offended. Remember, we're different, and we can agree to disagree without becoming disagreeable, okay? But I'm going to say what I need to say. That's why when the coalition is finished incorporating, we will not only be a 501c3, but a 501c4. You see, as a 501c3, you're only allowed to advocate for 10% of the work that you do. 10%. That means your voice is restricted. Anything over that, they will revoke your C3 status, and you can never recover it again. So for me, yeah, that's right. Jeff Sessions pulled the audit. For me to be the 501c4, that means you have full advocacy. The voice will not be silenced. So we'll have both of those be up under both of those banners. So as I move into this final area that I want to talk about in trust, dealing with trust, it's dealing with those that over time I found out that I just can't trust them. That doesn't mean that I'm not friends. That don't mean that I don't love you. But if you are voting for the people or supporting the people who won't pass common sense gun legislation, who fight against health care for all, who fight against giving people a living wage and stand against unions, who pro-profit over people, even though you say you're not, but you're voting for those who vote that way, I got a problem with that, and I can't really trust you. I'm sorry. I will love you. If you're ever in need, I'll be there for you. But the real is, it's people who vote for the people who hurt other people that I have a major problem with. So I could not sit around and just talk about, and I know my good friend is on the thing about the Democratic Party. And I mean, he's very rarely wrong in those areas because we have been, as a people, misused. The black people have been misused by the Democratic Party. And I'm not going to try to take that away. This is reality. This is reality 101 according to Dixon. Okay. But that does not negate the fact that a Republican in office will do one good deed and then neglect the people for the other 99. No. To put a little money into HBCUs or to do something on prison reform, but then be a white supremacist, an avowed white supremacist, you can't, no. I ain't standing behind you at all. Not going to support you. Not going to talk. No. What I will do is continue to put out the truth, just like my brother does, is to put out the truth about the party that I opt to support. Okay? And to let others know, along with myself, that it's our job, if the party is out of line, to put the party back in line. Not to look at the other party. That's not a viable option. I'm sorry. Because if that was a viable option, we would have laws in South Carolina that protected battered women. Right now, we're at the bottom of the states when it comes to dealing with domestic violence. We would have laws and a much better educational system. But that educational system has been stifled by this 3/4 Republican majority General Assembly that we have. We would have wages that are commensurate with the 21st century in 2019 and unions in South Carolina. And we would have so many different other things going on right now if it wasn't for Republican elected officials. And who elects Republican election officials but Republicans, everyday Republicans out here? So, yeah, I love you, but I can't trust you with our future. I'm sorry. And you can't tell me it's just politics. Shoot, people die because of politics. I can't do it. How many lives could have been saved and jobs created if we would have simply expanded Medicaid while Nikki Haley was in office? How many? Or why that lengthy battle about that darn Confederate flag? And for the Democrats, why the compromise? Why did we have to even have it on the State House grounds anyway once we took it from the top of the State House? And by the way, when is Ben Tillman's statue going to come off the State House grounds? I guess when we the good people elect enough Dems and then hold them to their jobs into the General Assemblies to have a 2/3 majority Democratic General Assembly. Then we can get Ben Tillman off the grounds of our State House and have a State House that's more representative of the entire people as a whole. Listen, I can't. Happy New Year, Regia, for sure. My sister. That's right. Trust no one with your future. In closing on this area, and I'm just going to shut it down with a few more announcements or whatever. The middle passage in the Bible, and I know some people don't believe in Bible or whatever. Every now and then I like to toss a little Bible out here. But the middle passage of the Bible, that big old book that you got, if you actually divide it up by passages, the middle passage right in the middle of the Bible, it says never to put your trust in man. I don't know why it's there, but it's a darn good practice to never put your trust in man. But and the Bible is not gender specific when it says man. Okay, that's a fallacy. Okay, it's talking about man. No, it's talking about the humans. Okay, never put your trust, in that manner. And I will add a caveat to that: until someone has proven that they're trustworthy, that they can be trusted. And I mean, when it comes to our elected officials, those running for office, those who are within our law enforcement divisions, those who are our bosses in our companies, those who sit on these various boards. Man, don't just blindly trust these people. Just because they got a title, definitely don't blindly trust them. Test them. Test them to make sure that they can be trusted before you put your faith in anything that any of these folks out here got to do. The same thing applies for me. Straight up. If somebody new that meets me, if you don't know anything about me or whatever, don't trust me right off the rip, for sure. Let the works I've done speak for me. That's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. That's for sure. Okay, alrighty. I see so many people, so many wonderful people on here. You all are just amazing. In closing, I just want to remind everybody about the rally. Okay, the rally is January 20th, which is Martin Luther King Day. It's the Coalition's 7th annual rally, and it's called South Carolina is Still Killing the Dream. Why is it called that? Because our state, all of the things, many of the things that Dr. King stood up for and fought for, such as, he died in Memphis fighting for unions in Memphis, the garbage men, to organize when it came to health care. He believed that health care was a human right. Education, he believed in quality public education because at that time, of course, Jim Crow segregation meant that public education was not for black children. That's for sure. And what the segregated was separate but equal. So black kids got a chance to go to school, but the education that we received was a lot less than what the rest of the white population received. Okay, so the things that Dr. King stood for, here we have people in South Carolina, those same people I just got through talking about, who on his holiday, they take the day off, they go to the parade, and they be cooking out, and happy MLK Day, have a great day. And the reality is, why are they doing that? And they don't believe in anything that Dr. King stood for. Go to work. Our state legislators who vote against everything that he stood for, go to work. Don't take the darn day off, you hypocrite. Go to work. Shoot. Nobody got time for this foolishness. It's time for us to stand up for what we believe in. And I'm going to do exactly that. And that's why we're having this rally on January 20th. It's Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day. And it's going to be in Marion Square right after the MLK Day parade in Charleston. So when the parade dead ends right there at Mother Emanuel, just come back over to Marion Square, and we'll be over by the flagpole. That's where we have it every year. And this year we're going to spotlight education, public education. So we'll have some dynamic speakers that's going to be coming on board, firing the crowd up for sure. Because this is going to be a get fired up, boots on the ground rally. Okay, this ain't going to be for the faint of heart. We're going to be calling on some folks. We're going to have to fight for 15 up in there, them young voices, ready to raise the roof and raise some cane, because it's time for us to get paid. At least enough to live off of in today's society. We'll have also, we'll be closing dealing with gun violence, mainly because although Dr. King never really dealt with gun violence, it's the way that his life was taken from us 52 years ago. He died by a gunshot. And I have no doubt today that if he were alive, his voice would be one of the voices in the forefront speaking for universal background checks, trying to make sure that we have extreme risk protection orders in place, making sure that bump stocks and assault style rifles and high capacity magazines are all outlawed forever. And I have no doubt that he would be on board with it. That's for sure. So we're adding that in also. When there's a special portion that I want to make sure everybody is aware of, we're actually going to be honoring the life and the legacy of the Low Country's own version of MLK, a man and a woman who actually, when Dr. King came to town, he was the go-to person that Dr. King came looking for. His name is Esau Jenkins off of Johns Island. His wife's name is Janie B. Jenkins. And their family his son Abraham and grandson Abe and Demet, his granddaughter, and the rest of the family. They've been invited out. We're going to do a special tribute to them. Over the years, we've honored people like the family of Walter Scott. We had Mr. and Mrs. Scott there in the family. We've honored them. We honored the nurses who went on strike in 1969. We've honored them at one of the rallies. We honored Faden Santana, who took the video of the Walter Scott shooting and never got any recognition from the city of North Charleston for doing what we always ask people to do, and that's if you see something, say something. He did it. He did what the police departments always say do, and they never said thank you. As a matter of fact, they demonized him after that. But we had an event honoring him also, 1 year honoring him. So this year we're going to be honoring the great and legendary Esau Jenkins and his wife Janie. And Damon Fordham is going to be doing the historical aspect of it. And I believe it's all set for the Honorable Mayor John Tecklenburg to actually give a special recognition to them and to their family at the event. So the mayor will be there also. Hopefully the chief of police in Charleston will be there and others. Okay. But the thing is the voice of the people coming together and making a loud noise about gun violence, public education. I'm going to say public education. I'm going to invite all of our school board members, come on out. Because this thing about school choice, And I want people to come out and listen and understand why, school choice is not the thing for us. It's nothing more than the new age equivalent of segregation. And guess who's going to lose? Okay, it's going to be us. Okay, so that's the rally. January 20th. Martin Luther King Day, approximately 1 to 1:30 we'll be starting. We should be ending around 3:30 right in Marion Square. Please come on out. For our political candidates, if you'd like to have your names listed, or organizations here present, if you'd like to have your names listed on the flyer, it's on my Facebook page. The event page is set up on Facebook. Go and say, yes, I'm going. Share it out with people. And so we can pack the house. We need to pack the house, okay? And a small rally ain't gonna get it. We need a big rally. We need to make some big noise. So everybody, please pass it on and get some folks out there to the rally that day. All of the political candidates, or if you have organizations, inbox me if you want to get your names on the flyer as far as supporting the rally itself, what the rally stands for. It's not supporting the coalition or anything like that. It's supporting the rally and what the rally stands for, okay? It's about bringing people together. That's what I do. That's all that I do, is try to bring people together. I'm a bridge builder, and that's all that I've been told to do. That's all that and that's the job that I've accepted, is to be a bridge builder. I want to thank everybody for coming on board tonight. I know I went a little bit long. I went a whole lot long, that's for sure. But I thank you all for being so patient. I see some people that have pulled on off with the good nights, and I really appreciate you, and that's for sure. Send me that information when you can, okay? Anyone in it, all of you that want your names out there, okay, on the flyer. In closing, school starts tomorrow. I do believe it. Sometime real soon. Might be tomorrow. But anyway it goes, though, after a long holiday, a holiday where some actually didn't make it, well, most of us did. We give God thanks, for another day. And the fact that tomorrow we get an opportunity to get up with mercies renewed and to start the rest of our lives afresh. We can be the change that we're looking for. We must be the change that we're looking for. If we're steadily pointing our fingers at others and what other people aren't doing or whatever, and we aren't doing everything that we can do, we need to sit down and shut up. Okay? Period. I cannot make the comments or the statements that I make here tonight if I was doing nothing. It would not be valid. You could not trust me to make the statements I am. The reason why I can is because you have not only heard me, but you've seen me standing behind exactly what I stand for. Fight for 15, raise up, that's right. Black power, that's right. The resistance, that's right. It's all real. It's all real. Share this out, folks. Man, I love you all. You all are really, really amazing. There's going to be more information about who's going to be participating in the rally real soon coming out. Just get ready. As TD Jake says, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Get fired up, get excited. 2020, let's do this. Let's make change. Let's wait on the school board for next year to make those changes they're talking about. Let's do this. And if they don't, let's do this. Whatever it is, let's do this, because we're doing it not for ourselves, but we're doing it for our children and for our children's children and for their children. I love you too, Janine. I love you all. You all take care. Have a blessed night. Peace.